more and more people are arriving. The October the 6th bridge is backed up with traffic. Cars going for kilometers, and a lot of them just stopping on the side of the road to get out and join this demonstration.
Jane, with these sorts of images certainly being seen around the globe, they're being certainly restricted within Egypt itself. State television is not showing any of these clashes at all, but they are showing pro-Mubarak demonstrations in a peaceful manner.
Yes, they have been showing the pro-Mubarak demonstrations since they started last night. This is pretty much what we've expected from state TV over the past couple of days, when the demonstrations were happening inside the square, when they were still peaceful at that stage. State TV was showing pictures of the Nile and cars slowly crossing over the bridge, and everything seemed very peaceful. While these pictures were being shown today of the pro-government supporters, there was also reports of the ticker tape at the bottom saying that the government's going to make sure that petrol will be back in the petrol pumps, that they're going to try and tackle the rising food prices, and they're going to make sure that pensioners get paid, because remember, the banks have been closed for the last couple of days. The stock exchange has been closed since last Thursday. So the government's certainly trying to portray some sort of control, but clearly the picture that we're showing is anything but that.
There was a potential possibility that the opposition would talk to government officials based on the fact that a calm was restored. Seeing these images and knowing what's going on in Tahrir Square, do you think the opposition now will be galvanized in not even discussing how Egypt progresses from here?
Well, I think there's a real division amongst the opposition. We're hearing that 12 opposition groups are prepared to speak to the vice president after he made that gesture. They're prepared to speak to him regardless of Mubarak's position, whereas other groups are saying that they will not speak to the vice president until he steps down. Until the president steps down, there will be absolutely no dialogue. There's also a call for a committee to oversee the transition of power until the elections, which are scheduled at this stage for September. But I think this really is the tipping point, Sohail. That something clearly needs to be done to draw this back. You know, if I can project ahead, I think these pitched battles will certainly determine where this country is going to go. We know, fortunately, that the army is not going to take any action, so they've made it very clear that they are not going to get involved. The problem with the anti-government supporters is that there is no one party, or maybe it's a blessing, but what they probably need now is one face, one party to gain this momentum, this control that they've had in pockets, and put some sort of political face onto it, so it can take it into some sort of interim government until those elections. Otherwise, at this stage, as you can see, it's leaderless.
Well, for the moment, Jane, thanks very much. For those of you joining us here on Al Jazeera, it's around 13:25 GMT. These are live pictures coming out of Tahrir Square in Egypt's capital, Cairo. There have been clashes between pro and anti-Mubarak supporters. Large pockets of Mubarak supporters tried to get into the square in some of the arterial roads leading to it. They have clashed with the anti-government supporters. Some of those individuals have been on horseback and camel, trying to scare the anti-government supporters that have been there for days. Of course, many hundreds of thousands have gathered over the last few days. These are pictures that we're showing you both now and earlier. Joining me now is Shadi Hamid from the Brookings Institute, who's been following events with us here on Al Jazeera. This was one of your concerns just a few days ago. We didn't see the police, we didn't know where they were, and now suspicions seem to be that they are in amongst the pro-Mubarak supporters, according to these IDs that have come to light.
That seems to be the case now, and I think in the euphoria of the last few days, people forgot that revolutions aren't easy, that this is a smart, strong regime. It has options at its disposal, and now I think we're starting to see the pro-regime mobilization, and we see at least a slight shift in momentum in the regime's direction now. And there was always this question of to what extent could the opposition sustain their protests over a longer period of time. The other issue here too is it has been a leaderless protest, and now we're starting to see